I'm going to start off by reading from the Book of Frank, and then getting into some newer things. Okay. When Frank was born, Father inspected the small package the nurse handed him. "But where's my daughter's cunt? My daughter has no cunt." Mother leaned from the bed. "This is your awful son, dear. Your son has no cunt." "Why doesn't my son have a cunt? What has happened? What a wicked world, dark and spinning on its one good leg." Well, if we can get past that one. The woman going into that room wasn't very pleased with that poem, but that's okay. Frank hated the 9 miscarriages kept in jars of formaldehyde. Mother burped each one, spooned peas against the glass. She rocked them all at once in her arms, no room for Frank. "You are too big for a jar, my child. You will betray me the rest of your life." The memoir of George W. Bush came out, and he mentioned that his mother, Barbara Bush, used to show him a jar with a fetus in it, an abortion or a miscarriage. I'm not sure what it was anymore, but at breakfast. So that's for him.
Every day at breakfast?
I don't think it was every day at breakfast. And Barbara Bush was very upset that he told this story. But anyway, that's where that one comes from. You didn't really need to know it doesn't really matter. I told you, and they're like, "You can't take it back." Now you know. Father was drunk and yelling, "And rule number 9, everybody dies." Upon hearing rule number 9, Frank suddenly forgot all other rules. Frank grew crows for hands. It was a difficult childhood. At dinner during prayer, his crows flapped excited in the name of the Lord. "Frank, keep still," Mother hollered. "Did you wash your crows? Did you wash your filthy, stinking crows?" When Father died, Frank was found straddling him, his crows picking the 7 gold fillings. Frank saw a giant eat a park bench with her vagina, drink a swimming pool with her vagina. "I saw her swallow the baby and spit out the crib," Frank said. He tiptoed past her snoring uterus one night and heard a few familiar voices cry out. "Would you sign my book, Mr. Poe?" Frank asked the pile of bones amidst shovels of dirt. "Why, certainly, young man," answers Frank in a different voice. "This is your captain," Frank says from the cockpit. "All passengers wishing to bail out any time during our flight. It is too late. I have shredded the parachutes to confetti in celebration of our arrival." Frank knows a butterfly who wonders about her old caterpillar friends. For love, Frank spoke softly into envelopes instead of writing letters. It's a lot of paper for a tiny little poem, but the thing that I love about this press is that it's recycled paper, so don't worry. I worry. Read that one. She told Frank, "If I were lightning, I'd try for that cup of water about to meet your lips." "I'm here for the show," the man said, looking under Frank's shirt for the door. "I'm no theater," Frank said. A line formed. Must he admit them all? Many had umbrellas. A blind woman waited with her dog. "It's going to be a great show," someone said. "But when's he going to let us in?" Frank's tears began to fall. Someone ripped his doors open. They filled him for an hour. At the party, everyone traced fingers on their bodies where they preferred to have cancer if they had to have cancer. The host asked Frank where he'd like to have his. "What a question," Frank said. "I'd like my cancer right here," and traced a circle on the host instead. From the menu of dead authors, Frank orders Emily Dickinson's breast with dumplings and the braised thigh of Anise Nin. His wife orders Leo Tolstoy's ring finger with caviar and the candied genitals of Jack Kerouac. Kerouac's erection arrives shimmering in gravy. "Mmm," she says, nibbling the tip. Frank glares and stabs a breast. "Is no one else sick of this paralysis of gravity?" Frank asks. "When I was a boy, I stepped into the sky, and I was a boy, not a surrealist." Part of the dream is that you accept your waking life as part of the dream. Pig says to Frank, "This fence keeps you in your world." Frank says to Pig, "This fence keeps you in your world." Pig says to Frank, "This fence keeps you in your world." Frank says to Pig, "This fence keeps you in your world." Pig says to Frank, "This fence keeps you in your world." So the first ones that I actually did were color poems. I ate a single color of food for a day, and I would wear the color. You know. Should I read a color poem?
Yes.
The red one? All right. I wasn't going to read a color poem, but let me think I would know where they are. Here they are. Okay. Distorted torque of floor is red. Written after eating only red foods for a day while under the influence of a red wig. Right side in curls, left side straight. There's a beauty academy down the street from where I live in Philadelphia, and somebody had... I'm assuming that they failed or dropped out. There was a wig in the garbage dumpster, and I took it home. The sick of magic lining up. Line lost, line made to disappear on impact. Italian seasoning on the Chinese food frightened him at first. Fading cow not far from our dragon-headed sperm stains. Please stop prying the dramatics of the sun. A drape the line into no asking makes. You're so hot when it's your birthday, direct descendant of mud. After they execute you, they won't return you to your cell because you no longer know how to suffer. Cold tongue, a line of credit ends, a line the leaves fall through. Weak men are the danger, listening to prove their loyalty against enemies, knuckled where a line asks a line to cross against the light. Dear contentious nativity, I was never weak, merely outnumbered. Shaking tracks the line that trains follow. In Philadelphia, our poems constantly amend the Constitution. My architect says I need more than $108 in the bank to build a poetry hotel. My architect asked me to stop referring to him as my architect. The line the scalpel makes. A system of sparks warms cold spaces between the toes. I signed the Christmas card, to my architect. Your body produced a child who built a school.